Welcome, Michael Jackson fans. Today we're going to continue our commentary of Michael Jackson's history tour in Munich. And today we're going to be looking at Stranger in Moscow. Now, you should know the procedure by now, but if you don't and you're new to this, welcome. What you want to do is have your Michael Jackson history tour lined up just as the song is going to start. And then when I say hit it, press play. And then you can play my commentary next to yourself while watching the concert. So you can have two tabs, and then you can turn my volume up and then the concert's volume down. Or alternatively, you can, if you've got it on DVD, you can just watch it on the TV, and then you can play this commentary through your computer or another way. Okay, so get your Stranger in Moscow lined up, and let's take a look. So he's having his juice, he's walking forward, opens the jacket, and wait for it. All right, we are away. So, Stranger in Moscow in Munich. Now, this is the last song of the show, which is from the 6th of July. So what I'm saying is that this song is live. It was broadcast live on Sat 1. I remember it because I watched this part live. But the songs after this are from the 4th of July. And they showed the first few songs live, and then they went to the pre-date, which they edited it previously. So because otherwise you want to have the live element of the opening, and then they had a couple of days basically to edit a really good show. So I think that actually worked pretty well, and I don't think a lot of people noticed. But they are indicators where you can see the differences, and I'm going to point them out in this song. All right, so Stranger in Moscow, we see a lot of close-ups, which we, the first time in the tour, in this song, and there's a lot of stillness. Michael is really relaxing through this song. He's taking his breath. If you notice his costumes, you really get to see the material differences in the first leg of the tour and the second. It's a lot smoother with that gold outfit in the first leg, and it really is a different material. Notice the seam of the inside of his leg, how thick that is. That's like an inch. Because can you imagine, that's very thin material, and that can break very, very easily. Another thing is there's quite a lot of shots of Michael Jackson's feet. He doesn't really like shots of his feet, but especially during dance numbers. But he said that many times. But you get to see small things like the silver missing on his shoes. Anyway, so let's get back to this song specifically. Obviously, the song is mimed, which is a pity, but totally understandable. The one thing which is interesting is, as we can see now, the backing singers. The backing singing elements are 100% also pre-recorded, and the backing singers are basically singing, but their volume is not up, or they're off completely, which is weird. But, however, if you take a listen to This Is It, with the backing singer's volume is loud, and that Michael Jackson essentially doesn't have much of a pre-recorded backing vocal, it doesn't sound as Michael. So in a way, I think Michael made the right decision to have his pre-recorded vocals. There are other elements, like if you watch the first leg of the tour, Romania, Kuala Lumpur, Brunei, where they will sometimes have the microphone slightly up. I think they probably got it best of the Dangerous tour, where they had a mix of pre-recorded vocal and backing vocals, and it was just have the backing vocals quiet on some songs, and then have Michael's vocal live. Michael's pre-recorded quite loud. I think Dangerous Tour probably had the right mix. Dance-wise, Michael Jackson's vocabulary increased so much by this time, and this was the first time where he really included robotics, and I mean extensive robotics, and locking into his songs. I think this was the best tour for dancing. Now, it was slightly slower, but actual form, it was more controlled. So we definitely see an increased vocabulary. Now, guys, look at this part of the song. Every Michael Jackson fan loves the key change when he is just killing it. Beautiful. Molly Meldrum from Australia, a very famous TV show host who interviewed Michael many times, said that this was much better than the album version, and I agree completely. added there's a lot more string elements live. Brad Bucks has done a great job. Now, if you look at Justin there, he's wearing a black T-shirt. But if you notice him, that's the blonde guy that Michael was Michael's friend. He called him Wally, out of Where's Wally. But if you notice, later on in the show, he's wearing a white T-shirt because, as I said, he went to both shows. And in one concert, he wore a white T-shirt, and in another one, wearing black. So that's an indication that it's two different shows. That shot over the stadium, by the way, from the side is beautiful, brilliant stadium. Now, I don't know if you're aware of the slight controversy during this song, but essentially, Brad Buxer had more of a contribution than you might think, to such an extent where he probably could be credited as a co-composer. I just think that Brad Buxer's done an amazing job for this song, especially live, and they improved it for the concert, which was brilliant. So we are wrapping up, very relaxed, look, bam, ended. Very, very, very relaxed. Something which is interesting, it doesn't come through from the TV. This is very purple and blue, and very large light canopy of blues and purples, and you don't really get that from the television or from the recorded. But the live, you really, really do see those blues. This was actually a pretty chilled out song because it was quite exciting before with Scream, They Don't Care About Us, What Are We Starting Something? It was quite a roller coaster. So when this song came on, it was actually quite nice to just relax for a moment. It was just such a great song, so it worked perfectly. Really glad that he added this song. This was kind of the equivalent of Human Nature in the Dangerous tour. It's funny, my performing the songs before, I asked a lot of people, how do you feel? And a lot of people said basic Human Nature over Stranger in Moscow anytime. If I remember rightly, I think we kept the final part of the song, the key change bit, but we cut out the first parts, and people really preferred Human Nature. Really surprising, because for me, Stranger in Moscow is one of Michael Jackson's best songs. It is one of the most beautiful musically performance on the tours, and it is beautiful. It's one of my favourite songs. When we listened to the History album and when it came out, my favourite songs were Stranger in Moscow and Earth Song. Straight away, they were my two favourites. But I guess there is an element of, because of the click track, there's a little bit of a synthetic feel to the song. There's a lot of pre-recorded elements, especially the main, and then you've got the bass kick. So yeah, it hasn't got that live element of Human Nature, which again, sometimes spiritually you want to feel the live elements. So now, after this song, this is when essentially it goes to the previous, the 4th. Yes, it goes to the 4th of July. So we're not actually watching from now on that concert. We're watching a different concert from the previous. And you know what? You can work that out because there was a Sat.1 Michael Jackson Day. And they actually, while they were advertising for the upcoming show, they had Munich footage. And they actually used footage from Thriller on the adverts, and they had these big American pizza sponsors them. But yeah, I mean, obviously that doesn't make sense if it's live, does it? You can't show the show before it's been broadcast, so they were just showing the previous edits that they'd done, and then they advertised it, and that's how they made it into a great package. There's also a few edits as well. I told you this is the original version that Sat.1 edited, but there's also Michael Jackson's Jumbotrons, where he has his edit without additional cameras, which I believe was also broadcast in Germany. Guys, I thank you so much for listening. We are going to move on to one of Michael's classics, Smooth Criminal. On other news, I think you might have heard that Michael Jackson's Oslo concert has been leaked. We will be hitting it, don't worry. My name's Anthony King. It's been a pleasure. Check out the website. See you next week.